Good morning and welcome to the Playbook. My name is Scott Garner. I am your host. And here, excuse me, sound like I'm going through puberty again. Here is where we break down why the United States and its people are the way they are current day, 2023. It's fascinating to think back 20 years and how the nation ran till now. And I'm talking about just within its citizenry, not even talking about government at that point. And where this is coming from in the book that I have studied for so long, I received this book when I was in college. This isn't the original copy. It was given to me by a professor, and it just stuck with me. And what this is data compiled by W. Cleon Skousen, who was appointed by J. Edgar Hoover to investigate the CPUSA, the Communist Party USA, and what they were up to and what they planned on doing. Well, what Mr. Skousen found out, and there's a lot here to read, but we're going over the 45 goals, was he found out the goals that needed to be put in place or completed to be put in place to then implement communism here in the United States, because they knew they couldn't invade us. They knew militarily they couldn't do anything to us, and we're so isolated in our location that in Homeland Security is a bunch of men and women with rifles. It just doesn't make sense for any country to ever try and invade us, so you have to do it from the inside, something that President Lincoln said so long ago. But here's goal number 38, and it's going to make sense to you when you think about it, and then I'm going to give examples and tell you where it's at, and then ultimately tell you where it's at. Goal number 38, transfer some of the powers of arrest from the police to social agencies. Treat all behavioral problems as psychiatric disorders which no one but psychiatrists can understand and treat. Now, first off, there's only one organization that epitomizes what I just said, and that is Defund the Police, which is a branch off of BLM, the ultimate communist construct. And what they are saying essentially is, in areas that do have high crime rates, like we're seeing a lot of inner cities, they do not want the police involved in, really, ultimately, if you read Defund the Police, their platform, in anything, because they believe the police can't help because the crime has already happened in 90% of cases. So, not the fact that they deter them, it's nonsense. But here's where we come into a problem when we start getting over to the psychological side of it. Because if they're the only ones that can understand and treat this, then that is going to be who you answer to for your issues. Now, here's something else about this community force, if you will. Let's say you oppose a certain ideal, local ideal, and or the way things are done. That psychiatrist could come visit you, and recommendations can be made for you. And this is already being done in some areas of the United States. Minnesota. I'm surprised California doesn't have it running rampant, but maybe they're just too busy, mutilating children at this point. However, that should concern everybody, because those organizations are already in place and set up to do this, and they are already practicing it. Now, what I want you to do is go look up Defund the Police, read their entire manifesto, come back and read number 38, treat some of the powers of arrest, or transfer some of the powers of arrest from police to social agencies. Go from there. I promise you'll find it in there. And then start looking at cases where this has happened. This is an absolute 100% spit in the face of the Constitution of the United States of America. It should never be, when police officers are, first off, they're sworn, and I'm sorry, I'm kind of stuttering here because this one here really bothers me first. There's like 1,000 things I want to say at one time, and so I need to slow down. But a police officer takes an oath to protect, to serve and protect the Constitution of the United States of America. And when you're taking away rights of that person who is sworn in to do that job and turning it over to a social agency, which is already set up to another side that, say CPS, for instance, they're not the ones that go in front line. It's always the policeman. And there is a step to this. It's also very dangerous to send over social workers into situations like this. But nonetheless, they're not equipped to handle what a police officer is. And I would dare say a police officer is not equipped to handle what a psychiatrist is. However, in situations that require a police officer, whether it's cooling down the situation and or ending it by whatever means are necessary, the policeman is always going to be the better option. Hands down, and it has been proven now for quite some time. But we're not done, because this plays into the next goal, which is number 39. Goal number 39, dominate the psychiatric profession and use the mental health laws as a means of gaining coercive control over those who oppose communist goals. Ding, ding, ding. Hard ass stop. Pardon the language. So what we are now seeing is this progression that was written well before 1958, but was published in 1958. And we're now seeing this progression of taking away authority from police officers, sheriff's department, and I would even think federal agencies as well, state police, so on and so forth, because they want to put everything into the hands of the psychiatric profession, which they dominate, they meaning the Communist Party, and use that to coerce you to act and think and do a certain way. Social credit score, where that came from. And it is for people who directly oppose the communist ideals. But let me give you a couple examples, because this has happened in the past and it is happening right now. But in 1962, Attorney General Robert F. Kennedy ordered the highly decorated Major General Edwin Walker to an insane asylum for a 90-day evaluation because Walker's political views that were opposite of Kennedy's. Another psychiatrist protested, and Walker was released after 5 days. Kennedy received no harm from this horrifying violation of human rights. That's the Attorney General. Oh, bounce. Merrick Garland right now. Emailing the FBI, working with the National School Board Association to go after parents that oppose what the school boards are trying to implement, or with critical race theory and gender studies. They're wanting those parents to be targeted, and they want them to be called, you got it right, domestic terrorists. So you can kind of see how this is playing out already. But here's another example. If you can read, actor Sean Penn called for conservatives, Tea Party members, to be forcibly institutionalized by executive order. That means a president. There's a mental health problem here in Congress, he said. These are American brothers and sisters. This is a cry for help, because they disagree with the progressive agenda. Psychology professor Barry Kuhnel, at the University of Scranton said signs of psychopathology, it took me a second, can be seen among conservative politicians, especially when you consider the wide range of illness indicators. Well, I guess you could probably do that with anything if you really sit down, but okay. Next, Professor Nancy Meyer Emmerich, Cleveland State University created a right-wing authoritarian test to uncover authoritarian tendencies. Republicans cluster at the high end of the RWA scale, whereas Democrats range across the scale. In a psychological bulletin, 4 university professors concluded the core ideology of conservatism stresses resistance to change and justification of inequality and is motivated by needs that vary situationally and disproportionately to manage certain or uncertainty and threat. So look, it goes on a little bit to say this, though. Many of these tools are used to silence opposition. That's all this is every one of these is a silence opposition of conservatives, and especially Christian conservatives. And this is done, and all this has been made available in academia. National School Board Association, Merrick Garland, FBI. But if you remember back in the 1950s, they called it the Red Scare, which was where this comes from. Right now, what you are seeing is a red, white, and blue scare. Anyone who is for the United States of America, they will protect its core values, meaning the Bill of Rights, the Constitution. They will not let the progressive narrative or agenda near their children. All of a sudden, you are now the enemy of the state. And what I want you to do is I want you to look up Merrick Garland, National Teachers Association, FBI, congressional hearing. This just happened. Then what I want you to look up, homework, Defund the Police. Go through there and look at that manifest and tell me what you see. Put it down in the comments. And then look at examples from Michael Moore to, what's that dude that's on MSNBC? Short hair. I don't know. Kind of looks like a chick. I don't know. Anyway, you can see this and hear these things come from them almost daily. So start listening to this and see how this is affecting your children. See what information is getting back to them. See how it's affecting your friends, your family. Kind of just listen at this point. But do your homework, guys. Do your research. That is so important. I can't stress it enough. But there will be a bonus to this, because I've been in the precious metals business for, 20 years now. And no, I'm not passing out gold coins. But for the person that gives me the best example of this coercion of political views being used by the left, and it can be done through the psychiatric community, it can be done through any branch, I don't care. Free Franklin half, 90% silver. This all going to be pre-1964 silver, or John F. Kennedy half. Heck, if I get a whole bunch of them, this is just, it's one little baggie that I keep around, but from what I have in my vault. And so anyway, thank you guys for watching the Playbook. We will be having an edition at some point in time in the future, along with better technology, I can assure you. And we'll get the videos down a little bit more, a little more organized. But guys, understand there's a playbook that has been played out on us, and it continues to be played out, and you have to be aware. Go buy the book, The Naked Communist. Please, just go to the 45 goals and start reading them. And if you're my age, if you're middle-aged, you're gonna realize a lot of this has been done very quick and quiet. So thank you so very much for if you made it 14 minutes, I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. Subscribe, be nice to the like button and tap it. Don't do what Mr. Balla does and feed it, drain all or whatever he's making it drink these days. Hit the bell, but most importantly, give it a like and subscribe. It helps us build this. I want to communicate this to the entire world. I literally do. When this is all said and done, I'm not making a dime off this, by the way. But God, there's so much to be made just basically preaching one of them. But this channel is not monetized. This is to teach why things are the way they are. It's facts. 100% facts. Can't be denied. Even by your old leftist uncle that hugs people a little too weird. Anyway, listen, thank you so much for watching the Playbook. Can't wait to hear from you in the comments, and have a great day.